with your two favorite gals out there. You know, it's just the word gals. I wish I liked it.
You know, maybe let's focus on... I'm sorry.
We are about to throw hands. Well, happy Wednesday. Eric hates me.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like hyper aware of everything right now.
The look. I want to like screenshot it. That was wild. I loved it.
So sorry.
Don't apologize.
I love your nails. I love your little ASMR that you do. I know that clicking sound was not for me.
I love them except for when you do that. We're doing well.
Anyways.
So thanks for tuning in.
We have a new couch.
We do. We're slowly putting together our vibe. I love it.
It's like progressively it's going to come together. Now we don't have bikes in the background. Instead we just have a light switch.
Which my head can kind of block depending.
But it's so cute. It's missing a side.
You can't see the whole nook, but it is coming together with like the coffee bar and the plant, and it's just nice to be able to like sit and relax and eat.
Yeah.
While like looking out the window or watching TV or something. It's really nice.
Ellie's wanted a couch in the kitchen for a long time.
A really long time.
I'm glad we're making this come true.
I know.
We're in the kitchen now.
I literally could not. We literally brought it in yesterday night, and I just plopped down and never got up.
Watched your show
here
from the couch.
We'll dive into our 10 and 10 as the Christmas holidays get closer. We are going to talk about some gifts. And I'll go first. My first one is flowers. It's like the first one that comes to mind. I know it's not necessarily like a Christmas gift, but I think it could be. I think, one, flowers are expensive, so I understand. It's like thoughtful because there's like so many different ones to choose from, and they're just so nice and beautiful, and I love them so much.
And like the flowers that Kyle got us for like a housewarming, I love that they're just in our windowsill. Yeah. And so cute. Well, my first one is not that. It was a horse.
What? Who are you today? Where did Erica go?
I haven't received a horse, but with the ask from Ellie was best gifts ever given or received.
Yep.
I didn't receive this, but my sister did, and it was awesome for me to witness.
So be like, you gave a horse?
No. As I was saying that, I was like, this isn't either of those things, but it was really epic.
Yeah.
It was
How
really
did they...
My aunt and uncle, who have horses, gave one that they boarded at a house near our house, and then we drove over on Christmas morning. None of us had ever been there before, so we had no idea where we were going. And then they like opened the door and
oh my god,
like,
for only one of your
here's your
sisters.
horse. I feel like everyone was like so happy for her.
Oh, you have a very nice family. Because I can tell you it'd be a little different if it was my family.
You got her horse?
Actually, I don't know. Me? Yeah, no, probably. If Ani's got a horse and we had to all drive as a family, I'd be like, where the fuck is my horse? There's going to be a Mustang around the corner, or else I'm going to be upset.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that is a good one.
It was cute.
My next one, I'm stealing one of your, like, fave gifts, and it's, like, a handwritten card. I love those, and during the holidays, it's, like, when my mom or my dad will write one, and they'll, like, my dad goes all out on cards. Like, he's the kind of person that will, like, read what the card says and be like,
aloud?
That's my... No.
Oh. I was like, oh my god.
No, like the words that come on the card. Oh, Lordy. That's gonna be so good. Oh, great. And I just wiped my eyeballs. Did I get
nothing.
Messed up?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but they had written cards. Aloud? Yeah.
To my dad. Okay. Well, you're being all cute. My next one is pet band shirts because I
Oh
love that
yeah,
shirt.
that should be on mine. This is the best.
I love that you wear it so much. I think they're great.
All the
I
time.
love the little dead bat.
Yeah.
One.
This
Is
one.
this one?
Yeah, there she is. Dead.
Just
Rip. I wish her tongue was out. That would really
know.
really do it.
It's so funny when her eyes look crazy.
Well, and I was looking at the blue one that you got me. And the one that, like, Luna is the main thing right here, and she just looks like a black meatball. Like, it's just like this big chunk of meat that has eyeballs on it. I'm like, she looks so thick.
She's a thick girl.
She
She's
really
so
is that
strong.
neck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm glad you enjoy it. I think they're cute and fun.
Let's see, my next one. Oh, activities like a gift card to the spa, or like going skiing, like a discount on going skiing, or a gift that's like you get to go do something.
Yeah.
I love those.
It's funny because my next one is spa day.
Yeah.
I got that for my mom and I 2 years ago? Earlier this year? She had never been to the spa before. She had never had a facial. So we also
You're like, Mom, let's go.
we got my dad a massage for his like retirement, and he had never had a massage before. I'm like, what do you guys are missing out on life here.
They're working too hard. Take a break.
Yeah, I think those are good. It makes people relax and like sit still for a second.
My next one, I think I'm really good at this, of like small sentimental gift baskets. So like things that like mean nothing, like you picked up something and it was like $5, or like a pack of like things like that are like so small but mean something. I love
I feel like
getting
I use all of those.
and like giving them.
Yeah. Like when you get like chapstick and like a candle and like lotion and things like that. It's like I will use all of those things.
Yeah.
And that's cute.
Or it's like you guys like met over coffee and then you get like coffee beans, or like you know, I like every year we get like, if we should do this but we don't, but like every year we get each other like a swim cap, or like something that's like it's like $2 but like it means something because it comes from something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like those.
That's a good idea. Well, I'm just listing like literal things that I've gotten, and the next thing is a basketball game, which goes in line with like making memories. I like gifts where you can like make the memory with the person. It doesn't need to be an NBA game or a spa day. Like these were expensive, which is why they're in my top 5.
Yeah.
But like I feel like small things, or like an outing, or like going to breakfast together, or whatever. Like that's a cute something to make memories is one of my favorites.
Yeah. And my last one is jewelry. I love it. I love jewelry. I love little dainty gold, diamonds, amethyst, rubies, really anything. You can give it to me,
Hint.
and I will wear it.
Well, my last one's in the opposite direction, and it's a hair towel.
Jewelry and hair towels.
I got those microfiber. Because I used to always just use my body towel on my hair, and it's like so heavy on your head.
I know.
So when you get the little like one specific.
I know, like specific for your hair. I know, I
Yeah.
should get one of those too. Like I said, there's a lot less of that hair up here. Gotta take care of it. Katie Howe. Oh wow, perfect timing. 10 minutes. Boom.
Whoa, that is
Love
good
when that
timing.
happens. Love gifts.
Nice.
Last episode was like horrible candle scents or something like that. So I'm glad we did something that we like.
Oh yeah. No, this is cute. This is more positive.
We're gonna dive into today's episode, which is kind of around like love and falling in love. I don't exactly know where I heard it. Probably Girls Gotta Eat or some other podcast, some place that I listened to. But it was this theory of like how men view women when they first meet, and like how women view men when they first meet, and the intention of like having a relationship or like some sort of like situationship with them. And it really stuck with me, and it's just kind of been something that I've been thinking about, of like the different ways like women express love, fall in love, all of that, and then how that is like different with like a man, specifically at like the beginning of a relationship and like beginning of like getting to know this person. But to start off with, the theory was like, and I'm gonna butcher this, so just hold on tight here. But the theory was like when a woman meets a guy, the guy is already at bar, like the bar is set at 100, and as you get to know him, and you guys like talk or do stuff or whatever, either throughout the night or throughout like the first few dates, they like slowly start to come down from like the pedestal that you put them up. Like they stay up there for women, yeah. Like they're at, you put them at 100. Like that's like they're like, oh my god, like I had to have this guy. Like you're so cute, you're so funny, da da da. And then you start to see like they start to humble themselves, and you start to see like, oh, you're more human. It comes down, like kind of balances it like that. Whereas like when a guy sees a girl, the girl is at 0. So it's like, yeah, I want you, but like you're But like as you start to get to know her, she kind of like builds up in this like pedestal type of situation. So
I thought it was the other way. That's interesting. In my mind, I think for myself, I don't put guys at 100.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's honestly until I get to know you that I'm like, wait, I don't know if I want to be with you. Yeah. I like saw you and I saw everything, all your potential. I met you, and from the first 10-minute conversation that we had, I know like you seem driven, you this, I like you, you're here. Great. Let's go on a second date. And then the second date comes around and I'm like, oh, there are some signs. Like even if you're still into them, the like notch comes down a little bit. Whereas like the guy is like, she seems all right. And like the more you talk, I don't know. I wish I knew if I could find it.
No, it makes sense. I just like think the opposite for myself. And
really?
When you explained it to me, for some reason in my mind, I thought it was that women put men or like start at 0 and men start at 100 for women. Because I guess from my perspective, and obviously like gender is a social construct, whatever. There's a lot of things that like women are like, you need to be this way, men need to be this way. There's so many layers to it. But in my mind, of my experience, I think a guy is always like, the grass is always greener. So he's like, oh my gosh, this girl's awesome. Like, I like her a lot, whatever. And then it's like, oh, wait, there's that over there. That's better. So then the girl goes down. Like, she starts out at being like,
interesting.
Oh, this girl's, like, hot and she's fun and whatever. And then he, like, gets to know her and realizes she's not perfect. And then is, like, on to the next.
So you would say that, like, when you meet a guy, they're at, like, 0 for you?
I feel like I'm pretty skeptical, and it's like I, like, get to know them better, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is really cool, or wow, I see you in this space, and you, like, love this, and then I stick around too long in the past because I, like, build them up, and I, to your point, see all this potential once I've, like, built them up. I don't see it in the beginning.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm like, this has, like, made it so much more interesting because I feel like I can talk about this forever because in the situation, like, that I've been in, I feel like I put them at the top of, like, pictured exactly who they were, and I feel like I stuck around way too long because as like time went on, it was like, oh well, that didn't turn out, but that was only one piece. Like, oh, they didn't have this, but it was only one piece, and then the next time we would hang out, it'd be like chip away a little bit more, and then it's like I'm stuck staying with something only because when I close my eyes, I picture someone that that's not even who they are. It's just who I built the first time that I met them or whatever.
Oh, wow. Well, that's crazy. I went on to Reddit, you know, as one does.
Yep.
And this was 3 months ago when someone asked, do you think men experience / feel love differently than women? If so, how? And it really is like all over the place, like what people are saying. And there's, from what I'm guessing, men saying some things like, women are typically showered with attention and love it. So, well, yet, like, just their perspective of, like, women in the beginning get, like, all of this, and so they fall in love really quickly, and then they're, like, they don't even know this person, they just like the attention. Like, those are some of the responses, and then others are, like, talking about how women find love through being provided things or lavished upon. men find love through shared experiences and time together. Which I don't know. I don't agree with that.
No. I mean, this is all very, like, much, like, this is all very general.
Yeah.
But, I mean, speaking, like, overall, like, this can kind of, like, fit your basic... I don't even know. But I still don't agree with that, even as, like, a blanket statement. Because I think it's the opposite. At least for me, I think when I think of a generalization, I'm thinking... women fall in love with their guy or their situationship, relationship, to whoever they're talking to based on time. And I think guys don't, in my experience, don't necessarily hold too much value in time spent together as like women do. Would you agree with that statement? Or
It's so hard to say. Like, I hate being like, this is how men are and this is how women are.
I know.
I think that if I grew up in a very probably stereotypical, like, I watched Disney princesses. I was all in on the fairy tale. I was raised in a religion where it's like, your purpose as a woman is to get married and have kids and like be the homemaker. And so I think for a long time in my mind, like, that is what love was to me. Were all of those things. Like, that's what I was raised on. And I think if you ask a lot of guys that were raised in a similar capacity, it's like, my way of showing love is like providing for my family and being the protector and doing all the things. And that's just like, I guess if you're raised that way, then that's maybe what you think that it looks like. But mine has definitely evolved, and I don't feel that way now.
I think aside from all of the like societal things that play a part, I like broke it down a little further and thought more of like the hormonal aspect of it, of like based on this like theory, which I don't even know if it's a theory. Maybe I just like dreamt it and woke up and was like, I listened to this on Girl Gotta Eat. But I'm like, I think that like, if I think about it, like I won't say like, I'll say like me specifically. If I meet a guy, I like, and I'm into them, I can already kind of like tell that I'm into them. And like, if I think about like the chemicals going on in my body, like something is like lighting up and I'm like excited to see them. And like that spark is already so like strong, I guess, for me. Whereas when I like in the experience of like talking with guys that I've either been with or like guy friends, that necessarily isn't the case like right away. And like they'll meet the girl and like, yeah, there'll be like a spark, but it's more so just this like, I don't know, this is so bad to say, but it feels a little bit more like, oh, like I'm gonna entertain this because she seems into me and like, why not, like cute, whatever, but not really that emotional like spark as it happened with me. Not saying like I am already in love with them, but there is that like emotional connection already. And then I think like over time, after the guy maybe does spend more quality time with me, does that like emotional like physical chemistry start to kick in that's a little stronger. Whereas like sometimes for me, unfortunately, I will then get to know you and not necessarily ghost, but kind of just like
not necessarily I just never respond.
Just, you know, slowly back out because I'm just like, that connection was so strong and now you're catching, like I got to know you and now that emotion is depleted and you know what I mean? And that's like, you know, worst case scenario. I'm like not the great guys, but in my experience, that's just kind of how I see it from like a chemical point of view, as far as like not falling in love with like the first person you meet, or like not saying that like love at first sight is a real thing, but I do think that there is this like initial like spark connection, like emotional, like, oh, I want to be with you, not just like I want to sleep with you, but I want to like
get to
know if you have siblings, you know. I feel like if I am just fucking you, I do not care if you have siblings. If I'm trying to get to know you, I'm like, what's your relationship with your parents?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Can I ask if you ever sent a message to that guy? We went on a double
I
date.
I did. And he said, word for word what you said.
Really?
I did not change it up one bit. I said, this sounds great. We are doing that, and we're going to call it a day. And he said, Yosemite was stunning. I'm cool with that. Let's just be friends. Handshaking emoji. Wish you nothing but the best, period. I'll catch ya around with a peace sign. Like a literal peace.
Oh.
Peace be the joy of the world.
Well, that's good.
What were we talking about?
I mean, I feel like you were saying how you just back away. You're like ghosting.
Well, this was a
but not.
first.
So yeah, so I wanted to know if that felt better for you, or you felt like it was nicer to just have more of a clean break and not this like, are they gonna text me again? Is it gonna be another thing?
Oh yeah, no, I highly recommend sending that because it just feels like I have not thought about it either, and I just feel like it
was also crazy that we just did that.
What?
We both went like this
really?
at the same time.
Missed it. It feels like the box is closed and put away, and I don't have to like think about it, and it felt like respectful and like both like understood, and it felt more solidifying for me of like, okay, no, you do know how you feel. Like, I feel good, because I think when like so many people are involved, at least for me, like I don't really know how I feel. Sometimes I'm like, am I just feeling this way because I'm being a bitch, or like am I really not into it, or like what are my feelings? And then sending that and having that message back and not thinking about it really has been like, okay, yeah, you're right, there was no connection there.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah. It is scary to like say it, because you like don't want to hurt their feelings, you don't know what they're gonna say, but I feel like I appreciate it if roles were reversed.
Well, it's shit, because it's like, of course he responded like that because he's a good guy. Like, why can't I like the good guys? Like, good guys are normal, and like we'll just be like, ah, yeah, like, cool, see you around. The other guys are just like, motherfucker, you're gonna leave me? That sounded like the shrimp from Shark Tale.
We're delusional. I literally ate a whole gallon of ice cream before this. Not literally, but
a whole gallon.
A whole pint. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a side tangent. I just realized we had never talked about it.
No, that's good. I think it's along the same lines of what I'm talking about, because it's like, this is what I feel like I'm experiencing right now, and like the dating is like figuring out where the misconnection is. And I think that's a perfect example of like, okay, this was a guy that's not a fucking industry worker, a good guy, has the same things, but like what's not there, what's important, what's not, and like you were saying of like making like the woman's place and all of that, and whether or not that's something that is like a priority for me, or not necessarily those kinds of constructs, but like what is. So if I'm not the kind of person that is going to be cooking dinner every night, like what is important to me, and how am I going to find someone, like a partner in the world that we live in, that kind of fits those values. And just meeting people and like figuring out their vibe and figuring out your vibe. And then it's like, when you do like someone and there is a connection, it's like sometimes I find myself liking them way more than they like me, or vice versa, and then you kind of feel like stuck and not knowing like, what?
I know. I do. So in that Bustle, was that the...
Mm-hmm, yeah, the article, like basically how men and women fall in love differently. It's an article on Bustle that I found. I literally just Googled like, do men and women love differently? Google was like, yeah.
But in there it talks about how like women usually say I love you more. And I do that in my experience.
No, that they say true. I love you first, I think.
No, I think it's men say I love you first, and women say I love you more.
Oh, yeah. Men say I love you first, women say I love you more. Yeah, you're often. I mean, you're right. I just read I read often and saw you, and I got confused.
But I think that's been true for me, and I think that has made me feel like, am I am I like loving more? And I get that it's not always going to be, it's never a 50-50 relationship, but it makes me feel like I'm in it too much and I need to pull back and I need to like, I'm aware of like, well, I'm the one that's instigated saying I love you for the last 50 times. Do they feel this way or they're just saying it because I'm saying it?
Yeah.
And
you don't want to feel like you have to pull back your emotion because then you're like, well, I do feel this way and I want to say it.
Yeah.
But also, why aren't you there too?
I know. And then it turns into this like, and this is immaturity in me of like almost like a test of like, all right, I'm not going to say it. Are they going to say it goodnight? Or just like what's happening? Yeah. And I don't love that. But what was their reasoning? What did they say? I don't remember.
Well, based on like how I interpreted it. I don't know. It doesn't really say much. But the reason, like, I don't know, when we kind of talked about, like, I'm really fixated on our breakup episode when we talk about, like, all of those hormones and stuff. But for me, it's like, again, some stupid theory I probably saw on, like, TikTok or Instagram of this idea of, like, men feel like they need to reach levels. And so, like, everything is very linear to them when they're feeling, like, so strong towards their woman and they say, I love you first in order to, like, hit that, like, oh, they're feeling these big feelings that they may have never felt before towards someone so close. They say it first to, like, get it off their chest and have it out there. But, like, then they've reached that point. Then it's like, hey, I told you. Yeah. I'm there. My level isn't going down. I'm at the I love you. So the constant need to reassure maybe just doesn't feel as important to them as it does for us.
Like, because I checked the box. Yeah, I did the task.
I did the task. I already feel it. Yeah. And I'm at this level. I'm not going anywhere below this, so I don't need to say it. Where I think is women most of the time need that reassurance because nothing is linear. Like the way that it, like the waves of emotions and hormones and love just like isn't like that. And so like sometimes I'm gonna need way more reassurance and need to hear the specific words I love you, whereas like other times it's more so of like the actions of like, great, you did the dishes, like I don't, you know what I mean, and who you are. But I think that's kind of how I see it when it comes to like men not saying I love you like as often.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I read it in this article or not, or if I'm just making it up. But it was also something I talked about this weekend of like guys kind of being more obsessed with the girl than the girls with the guy. And I'm like, I've never had that experience. I feel like I'm always...
Wait, repeat that?
Like a guy in a relationship being more obsessed with the woman than the woman is with the guy.
Who's saying that?
Some of our married friends
are saying that the guy at the beginning of a relationship.
No, just like once you're in a relationship, like usually the guy is like more into it, and I'm like, I've never had that experience.
I always feel way too into it.
Yeah, I do too. This is probably not something I should say on the podcast because I haven't had this conversation yet in real life, but
great. We can cut it out. But also I love it, so
like recently I don't know, maybe when you get comfortable with someone you notice more of like their habits, or maybe it's because you're comfortable with them that they start to do things more. Like Mr. Force has his messages go to his watch. Mm-hmm. And so he, like, sees them all the time. And sometimes I think it's really annoying because we're, like, trying to talk and he's like... And I'm like, can you stop it? Just, like, put your watch away or, like, turn off your phone. Like, that's so annoying to me. Mm-hmm. But then recently, on Thanksgiving, I texted him that I was ready to go. And we sat there for over an hour... waiting, and I'm like, I know that you see your phone all the time because when I'm talking to you, you're looking at your watch.
The phones is hard.
The phones will be the downfall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's just something that, like, to go to the more obsessed than whatever, I'm like, is it just because you're, like, comfortable with me now, or you think that, like, we're here, we're in a relationship, so, like...
But I see your point, because I think, in my mind, if that theory was true and the guy was more obsessed, it almost feels like, oh, gotta go, you know what I mean? Like, it would feel, like, a little bit more, like... obsessed, and sometimes it doesn't feel that way.
I just want them to be obsessed with me.
You brought up something, and I wanted to circle back because I also saw a Reddit. So again, Reddit, just trying to like not go too deep in there, but finding some really good gems. And I really, really liked what this person said. It just put it in like a little bit of a perspective. So I'm going to read the whole thing, and then I want you to hear, or like, tell me what you think. So It says, men view respect the same way women view love, and vice versa. At least as a generalization. The same way a woman feels honored and adore the fuzzy feelings, by love, we feel that same way with respect. For example, if I say to my wife, quote, baby, I just want you to know that you are my soulmate. I love you so much that I would forsake the world if it meant that I was able to have one more day with you on earth. No woman will ever have a place in my heart because you fully consumed all of the possible love in my heart could ever produce. Super awesome fuzzy feelings, right? Now, when my wife tells me, quote, baby, I just wanted you to know that I'm grateful for all the sacrifices you make every day for me. I have seen you become the man I see today and fully acknowledge the work you put into yourself and our family. I know that you are always willing to put your needs last in order to provide. I'm so very proud of the man you are today, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the things you will accomplish during our time together. Super awesome man fuzzies. Both of these statements will probably cause some tears of joy and happiness in a partner, but notice that the acknowledgement of respect never once used the word love. Sorry, that was the best way I could explain it. It's super complex emotion and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so yes, I want to know your thoughts before I, like, dive too deep in this.
I hated this.
Oh! Okay, why? I love it. Tell me.
I feel like both of those were respectful. I think was, to your point, it was very general, and he wanted to hear the very stereotypical man things of, like, you provide for me, you care, you work so hard, like, but what was interesting to me, and maybe I'm misinterpreting, is, like, in his message to her, it's all, like, I would do this, I love you, I want this, and then in her message to him, it's, like, you're so great, you're awesome, you do all these things, and to me, that's because the woman actually sees him and recognizes and is cognizant, whereas his message to her is like more things about me. And not like seeing her as what she does and what she offers and like what she brings to the table. It's more of like, I want to spend time with you. I love you. I like.
That's so true.
And I
think more so like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like only recently would I be able to recognize that. I think because I've honestly, like, hardened myself a little bit, and I'm way more skeptical of, in general, of, like, men, which just sucks, just because I'm like, what are you bringing to the table here? Because I have lived just fine on my own without you. So what are you, like, offering me? And then I will match that energy. Otherwise, like, no. You're wasting my time.
Interesting.
I can't remember if I sent it to you or not. It was, like, a list of things that guys love about women. Did I send you that Instagram post?
No.
Someone had, like, asked the question, like, what do you love about... It was, like, a cute little thread, and it had, like, pulled a bunch of very wholesome ones. But on Reddit, someone said, what are random things that you love about women? And the first one is, in my experience, their snack game is just on a whole different level than dudes. And I just feel like that's so accurate.
That's so wholesome. I love that. We really do know how to snack.
Our snacks are so good. And maybe not our meals, but our snacks.
Yeah. We can't cook that well, but you can put together a snack.
Someone commented and said she brings the shit that I totally forgot existed. Another person said I love their hugs. Whenever we meet up or say goodbye, the girls always want to give a hug, and I appreciate the warm embrace.
Oh.
Which I feel like it could be interpreted weird, but I do get that it's like
I'm not a hugger. It's my least favorite thing sometimes.
Smell of their hair.
Ew.
Maybe now reading these. The one that I found originally was really good.
We keep going. These are fun.
The way they look up at you with their big eyes and smile as they hold it.
This is like one really creepy man that's typing all of these. Their big eyes.
Putting their hair up in a ponytail, brushing her hair to one side and looking up at me when we were talking.
Cute. Who
is...
are these men?
When she's focused, putting on her makeup. When I can see in her eyes that she's studying me and fascinated in what I'm saying. When a woman is surprisingly good at something.
Fuck you, dude. Asshole.
I didn't read the rest of it, but just the beginning of that is really funny. It says, something normally considered manly doesn't get better. Anyway, I don't know why I got on this thread. I feel like men and women I feel like everyone loves differently. Like, I would say that you and I don't love the same. Yeah. Or at least, like, don't express love the exact same.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been in relationships where I can make generalizations about men, like, in my experiences. But I also feel like the relationships I had early on are very different than what I've been having now, and that love looks very different. And like, I wouldn't say that those stereotypes are the same now for guys that I've dated. So it's just really hard to say. But I think we are both, if I can generalize, like, lovers, and we love love.
Yeah.
And it's a nice feeling.
It is. I think it's just like, it just sparked so many thoughts in my brain, like thinking of like, oh man, I have feelings for guys, I can't figure out if they have feelings for me, and then how do they love, am I loving too much, is kind of like where the whole theory at the beginning of like putting them at 100, like even if that's not true, I think it's like, to your point, is I do love, and I am like a lover girl, and I do appreciate that about me, to be able to like have so much love to be able to give to someone. So when you're feeling that way and you're trying to like date in this crazy world, you kind of get like lost in the sauce a little bit and super overwhelmed, because to your point of like, yeah, sometimes I do feel like, am I doing too much? Like, am I loving too much? And I think, yeah, if you take away from anything from this crazy episode, it's like you're not loving too much. And then sometimes it's just like,
for everyone.
Yeah. And like, no matter how much like research or bustle tells you that like things, it is just different. It's just interesting to see like, that there is a difference. It's just kind of like, who's to say what the difference is.
Who's to say? Also, side note, that Bustle article, I don't know if you're getting the same ads as me, but every single ad on there is like, well, shoot, now it won't load.
It's like some random.
Dang it. Oh. Every single ad on there is for Nebula, Why You're Alone, based on your zodiac sign.
Oh, wait, actually, yeah, was that mine? Oh, no, that's me.
It's just on the Bustle article. So I think, as we all know, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, and taking some stupid zodiac quiz is not going to tell you.
Yeah, they really do that.
Yeah.
They really fuck with your brain. Don't let them fuck with you.
When you're at a low and you're really... I've Googled things like... Oh my god. I wish I could see my search history when I was like 16 of like, how to get a guy to like you, basically. Or like... what to say to a guy to make him think that you're hot. Like, things like that.
Yeah. Like, literally just so many doors just like flew open in my brain. I am not close. Keep those nice and tight in there. There are so many things.
So if you're doing that, you're also not alone, because we've all been there.
It reminds me of like the fucking diet shit. That
Oh my
episode that we just
God,
took,
yeah.
that we just did a while ago. Like, all of the dumb shit you would do to get their attention just because, like,
Yeah.
some post on
Because
Facebook
some
said,
Pinterest was like, wrap your body in saran wrap. Yeah.
put a mixture of turmeric, honey, lemon, and baking soda all over your face and your acne scars will go away. I walked around looking like a fucking zombie. my family, I'd, like, turn around the corner and they'd be like, ah! Like, yeah, just turmeric and honey on my face. Oh, God.
Oh, so silly.
Anyway. God.
Anyway, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Happy holidays. We have a few more episodes lined up this year that are really good. I'm excited about them.
Yes.
So follow along on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Polite Respect Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.